What's up, everybody? Joe has his audio on again.
Joe has his audio on again. So,
All right. Make sure you guys can hear us. Let us know if you can hear us in the chat. That would be awesome. And we will get started with the live show.
hello everybody, and Shelley Vidal. I saw you mentioned that Dark Waters had mentioned that. Was that on a show that was released today? Just curious. We've always had a real good relationship with Dark Waters.
Yep.
Jesse was on a show.
It was a while back.
Yeah, like 6 months ago or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was kind enough to share some information about his dogman mapping that he's done with, like, as far as like encounters go, especially to the south.
Yeah,
So,
he's a really nice person. Does a lot. He is a workaholic too. So.
guy works like 24/7.
Yeah.
So anyway.
All right. So we're going to go through these chats a little bit. You guys have been in here. Obviously, you guys have been hanging out for a while. So we're going to catch up on that. See who's in here. Martin, everybody in here. Yeah, cool. All right.
We got.
I guess we should start with intros first. Hey, I'm Jesse. This is Joe. You're watching Hellbent Holler live. Let's get into that before we get started with anything else. I did a little live earlier, like an hour and a half ago, because I've been working on some video today, so I thought I'd hop on there and do a live today and kind of remind you guys that we were doing our live tonight, doing the show tonight, and we wanted to make sure that you guys were here. And I was on there just, passing some time there. I enjoyed doing that. It seems like a bunch of people jumped on. I appreciate you guys jumping on with me for that.
Sam Burton asked, did you know Dark Waters in New Orleans? We actually did not. And what's weird is that we were both very in tune with, like, what you would consider the occult or paranormal world of, like, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Jesse had some friends who owned, like, witchcraft shops down there. One of my better friends down there was like the head of, like, one of New Orleans, like, largest, like, voodoo temples, groups, whatever you call it. Everything from, like, the people that would read, like, fortune tellers and tarot readers at Jackson Square into people whose families had been involved in, like, voodoo for multiple generations and were really well known, like, New Orleans names. So so when I first heard about Dark Waters, I was just thinking he was just like a kind of a storyteller. You know what I'm saying? And it turns out, like, some of those people down there know him. You know what I'm saying? So he's legit with the stuff that he says. The people that I'd asked at first going, hey, do you guys know this guy that does this like YouTube show? Nah, I never heard of him. You know what I'm saying? Well, there's a lot of people down there.
Yeah.
And then it turns out I had other people going, oh yeah. James. I know him. So yeah, he's we didn't know him, but we know apparently some of the same people down there. So
Dolores Edwards says, love the top, Jesse. All right, so Jesse's t-shirt of the day here. Let me stand up and not fall. It was a Mothman long sleeve here. I got this from Liz Pavlovic at Wild and Weird Con. She was vending there, but she's got a lot of really cool, cute cryptid stuff. So I had to have this Mothman long sleeve shirt, and I love it. So
William Kennedy just finished reading Seasons of the Critters by Dewey Edwards.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Dewey was kind enough to put a little
thank you to the old to the wee little Hellbent Hollers.
To the wee bit Hellbent Hollers. So all right.
Trista Myers says, Jesse's interview with Dark Waters is how I found y'all. I think a lot of people found us that way. That was right around the time I released the Werewolf Experiments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I did that interview right after the Werewolf Experiments came out.
Yeah.
And so the first episode of the Werewolf Experiments. So I think a lot of people found our channel through that interview because he has a huge audience. So I am very thankful that he decided to do that interview with me. That got Werewolf Experiments in front of a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah. Extremely kind and cordial guy as well.
Oh, for sure.
Deucer says video super clear tonight. Yeah, we adjusted the video stuff a little bit. You got to remember, we don't really have a studio. We're using the stuff other than the microphones. The stuff that we're filming and getting audio with is the stuff that we use in the field investigating. That's our Sony Handycam and then our Zoom H4n Pro that we run our parabolic off of. We just jury rig it in here to do this. So we're more familiar with like filming stuff in the woods than we are at home and with lighting and chairs and tables and all that. So we've been experimenting with it a little bit. So I'm glad it looks a little clearer than usual.
Yeah.
We don't like having a real bright um, like set. We like it to be kind of dark, and gloomy. So
gloomy.
gloomy.
We're here for your gloomy cryptid talk, everybody. Oh goodness. Yeah, so I mentioned in my live earlier that we have that footage from our A Burning Light video that we put out Sunday before last. Um, we'll talk about that in depth, I think, a little later in the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more in depth a little later in the show and go over all of that. But we recently went back there. We went back there a few days and
been back a couple times now. Actually.
Yeah, we've been back a couple of times, but we recently went back and I was working on that video when I did my live earlier. So you guys got to see me kind of working in my little cave in there. But we went back and we kind of discovered some new evidence, some supporting evidence to a few of our theories.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We found some. We didn't experience this past weekend. We didn't experience any like current activity that we know of yet. Obviously, we're still in the process of going through the footage pretty carefully, especially since you guys saw that thing in the tree that we didn't really put any importance behind it first when we saw it, and then you guys saw it and then pointed some stuff out, and people were kind enough to send us some clips of it. But we found some remnants of previous activity, people activity that we think that cult. We're just going to call them a cult. We're not going to go that supposed cult or people think there's a cult. There's a cult.
We're to the point now where we
any doubt
truly believe that this is a cult operating in the woods of North Georgia and that they are really up to some nefarious stuff. We've gone from eyewitness accounts to us finding evidence of them being there to us finding possibly the results of them getting involved in some sort of ritual that could lead to a portal opening.
Yeah, we found some weird stuff. Nothing like the smoking gun, but we're building, the evidence is building up just layer by layer. We're getting a better picture and a better idea of who's up there and what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I
always use this puzzle analogy. We're getting just these small pieces of this huge puzzle, but we're finding these little pieces one at a time. And it's pretty interesting. I don't know if any of you guys, I know some of you guys follow me on Facebook, and I shared an image today. Joe, how do I add an image? I'm old.
I'm old.
Just add video clip?
Yeah, just add
cool.
and then.
All right. So I'm going to show you guys that image. If you guys don't follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I have this clip.
Is it on your desktop or is it in here?
Oh, no. You know what? We might do that later just because for some reason, again, Jesse's non-functional. Yeah. Oh, well. Oh, here it is. Hey. Very professional. Oh, no, that must be a video. Never mind. I was going to show you guys a picture. I can do it right here. How about that? There you go. Joe. Cool. Okay, so I uploaded this picture. We took this picture while we were out over the past couple of days, and we stumbled upon this, and it's so weird. So I'm going to show you guys this right now. Because let's see if I can do this. Here we go. We're just going to... Maybe I can't do it. I thought you said we could do this.
I thought we could.
All right. We'll just show you the picture and then we'll. Okay, so that's a picture that we got while we were there. You can barely see it. Obviously, we're not very attuned to doing this. So, but this is a picture we got of something that we found while we were out there in the woods. We just walked right up on it. It's back in the woods. We had hiked for a few miles at this point. We were just off randomly in a direction. But what we found there was three just huge sticks in a triangle formation. And so we recorded it, and right in front of it were stones, and it could be what would be considered a ritual site.
Like a ritual, like a ring or something. And the sun was starting to set as we found it, and the triangle points exactly due west. What's happened is that the area that we're working in is it's extremely fast. It's there's a lot of wooded area through there that hardly anybody is in, and then it juts up to a national forest. So what we're doing is we're kind of working our way out and ever widening rings around the area where we found the light, just to see what else we run into through there. So that was one of the things we ran across as we've kind of like worked our way out.
Yeah. So, but I was starting to snap photos at that, and I got those really weird like light signatures there too. I got like a rainbow, and I got another couple of light signatures. Actually, I think that's what I'm supposed to do.
What, present?
Yes, I think that's what I was supposed to do. Oh well.
Present slides, video file. There you go.
We'll do that eventually. Obviously, we're not great at this. So, but yeah, we found a bunch of weird stuff. I'm working on that video right now, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. So I'm working real hard on that, and I'll get it out. I know you guys are really interested in what happened there.
E-Rev, do y'all ever do any security measures at y'all's vehicle, a cam or some sort of trip alarm stuff? We do. Yeah, we do. So we try to vary it up a little bit from time to time too. So yeah, we do try to make sure that we got a way to get out of there. So
yeah, it's very important that we do that, because you don't know who's up there. And like we've talked about this before, that sometimes we'll go up into these areas that are public lands, wildlife management areas, national forests, and we'll go up there, and there's just a huge variety of people up there. Some are very, very nefarious individuals, because it's a lot of these places we go to are insanely secluded. So if you're up to no good, you're going to want to go somewhere where not a lot of people are going to see what you're up to. So sometimes we do run into some pretty nefarious people up there. So we have to kind of take measures to make sure that nothing happens, and that we're able to escape out of there.
Curious asked, wouldn't a triangle point in three directions? It was a if you
standing
saw the image,
triangle. Well, like I couldn't put the image up all the way.
I wouldn't go up. So it was an isosceles triangle,
Yeah.
with the base on the ground and then the point going up to the west. As a matter of fact, if you stood in front of it, you could just see the sun setting. So it faced pretty much just right on due west from the looks of it. So,
yeah.
And then the ring that was there, we found some other stuff that normally I would just go, oh, that's weird, but it's probably innocent. But when you combine it all together and you take it, the totality of what we're experiencing up there, it's just adding extra layers up to it. So
yeah, it's just one little piece of the puzzle that goes into what's actually going on. And I don't know if we're ever going to get the full story of what's happening, but we're doing our best to kind of do a little detective work on the ground and see if we can learn about what's going on. Tristan Myers said, I guess this is about dark waters. Yeah. He couldn't believe this tiny, and I think he said attractive girl out in the woods, boots on the ground. Yeah, I've got a personality that's bigger than my abilities sometimes, and I don't really quit doing stuff. I don't say no. I don't stop. So that's a good thing, and it's a bad thing for me, you know.
And Trista, if you or anybody, Shelly, anybody, if you guys can, I don't know, he releases a ton of stuff, man. I mean, he releases I think 20 videos a day sometimes. If you remember the name of the video that was on, let me know. I'd kind of like to watch that. So she probably won't, because she gets uncomfortable when people talk about her, but even if they're saying positive things, but I'd like to watch it. All right, let's see. So anyway, all right, now no questions in the chat right now. So let's go and talk about the footage that we were talking about. So as you know, we've released that video.
Now that I think I can present. Yes. I think I can.
we released that video, a burning light, where we saw the light and all that. And then we released the video where we we released the video where we were leaving out, and Jesse and I thought we saw something in the woods to our left as we're leaving out.
Yeah.
And I was kind of panning the camera to the left-hand side and to the rear as I'm walking, but I'm looking ahead. I kind of did this and then let my arm keep going, and then I looked back on the path because it's pretty rough going through there. You got to look at where you're stepping at, so otherwise you're going to take a tumble down the mountain. And people saw something in it. You know what I'm saying? So, and one person, I think in the chat or maybe in a comment had said it looks like a leaf, and we just kind of went, it's probably a leaf.
Yeah, it could. You want to kind of go over every option of what it could be. And Joe and I really try to debunk ourselves as much as we can. We don't get super excited about pieces of evidence until we know for sure that we can present them in a way that is honest. So we're like, we didn't even see this. Like he said, we put out the video and people kept commenting at the certain timestamp that they kept seeing this thing at a certain timestamp. And Joe and I were, like he said, going down the hill, weren't looking anywhere behind us. He just turned the camera behind him while he's going down this really rough, steep terrain. So everybody kept saying they saw this thing in the woods and could not, could see just this movement in the woods. So I have the clip. You did check out how to present stuff on this, didn't you?
No.
Okay. Well, this is
so great. Go to present.
Yeah. I uploaded it.
Video file.
I don't have it on this computer, but I do have it. I have it. Yeah. In this. Yeah.
See if you can put it on there, man.
Let's see if this works. We're doing this.
You may not have any audio if this goes on, so don't.
Yeah, but we'll be back on it. So, see if I put that. Yeah. Okay. So I can do it. So here, let me give you some context here. So what I did for this, if you'll monitor the chat for me.
I'll monitor the chat for
so what I did for this is I have 3 clips to present to you. So what we do is we have the original clip that is literally 2 seconds long. So I'm going to put that on a loop so you can see that a couple of times. You're going to want to look in the upper left-hand area and you'll see something in the background. So for the second clip, I've slowed it down to 50% and I've zoomed in on the area where it is. So it's kind of blown up. So it's slowed down 50%. So, and then the third clip, it'll be slowed down 25% and it'll be zoomed in on the area. So this is kind of just the rough situation of what I'm working with. And then I'm going to eventually put out a video and we're going to talk about this. And our friend, Take Two Wheels, has actually captured some of those images and enhanced the images, and they're freaky as all get out. So I'm going to show you guys this. We're going to throw it on a loop, let it play a couple of times, and then you guys can tell us what you think this is. So we're going to start out. This is the regular speed, not zoomed in at all. Look in your upper left-hand corner. So that's full speed. Did you guys see that? Did you guys check that out? Let's see. I'm going to go back to the chat so I can check. And so, and then I will present to you at 50% the other video of it. And this is, again, zoomed in, and this is slowed down to half speed. So you can see in that video that whatever this is going from one tree to another, and the tree that it actually grabs onto bends. And I think that was one of the weirdest things that I've seen, because that just shows that this has weight. This has weight to it. And if you slow it down and look at it, it has limbs. It actually...
Well, it was getting dark and we were just using a standard GoPro. And when you start to lose light on a GoPro, sometimes things will pixelate a little bit. You saw it in the footage that we did this past weekend. But when you slow it down and go frame by frame, we saw arms and legs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going, whoa, there is something here after all. So, and it looks like it goes down and then grabs a tree, and then that tree just bends with it as it goes. And then it looks like it kind of keeps going right as the camera goes around. Again, I wasn't looking in that direction. It appears to be that it waited until we both had turned around and were facing ahead to make a move at that point.
So
Very odd.
I'm gonna
So
show you guys this at quarter speed. So this is slow down to quarter speed. It's gonna be real slow. And when it slows down, it's even more pixelated. This is zoomed in on whatever this is and at a quarter speed. So we're gonna play that 3 times. You guys can check that out. So, okay. What do you guys think that is?
we actually, I think Barton's in here. We sent it to Barton not only to look at, um, and Letitia was watching it, and then she goes, "Hey, you need to check this timestamp too. I saw something else." So we checked it out, and we caught this a similar shaped figure at a different part of the woods, doing pretty much the same thing. So it looks like there were at least whatever this is, 2 of them up there.
Yeah.
We're still in the process of kind of isolating the one that, because Letitia just pointed this out to us late last night, and they did it. And then Barton sent me a video clip, basically of them showing where it was at, and then Jesse got to the raw footage and looked at it and went, "Oh my lord, it's there is something there." So, so I don't know. That's why we always appreciate people looking at our footage very closely.
And everybody I've shown this to has looked at it and has like a physical reaction to actually seeing it. Like everybody I've showed it to, they almost recoil when they see it because it's weird. I know that when I first saw this, I definitely had a physical reaction because I was like, okay, we were there. What are we being surrounded by? What are we around? What is following us out of the woods? But you can clearly see that there is something out there. There is something in those trees. And it's obviously following us, which is disturbing. Sam Burton says it looks like Bigfoot skydiving.
I don't know if they want their name shared, so I won't share it. But a viewer that's from New Zealand sent it to us. Had also, because several people all kind of isolated it and sent us clips of it. You know what I'm saying? That they had, some people had brightened it up, some people had adjusted the contrast, slowed it down. But and they said it, they were like, it's like you've got extremely agile Ewoks jumping the trees up there. Now, keep in mind that in this general area, we've found small footprints before several times. The biggest we've found compared to my foot, maybe a size like 9 or 10. And that's only like very rarely that we've seen that. But most of the time we find very small footprints up through there. So
yeah, I don't think, have we ever found, I mean, I know that we found like the stereotypical large Bigfoot print about 20 miles away, but in this particular area, we've not seen large prints like that at all.
Never.
It's
No.
always been smaller prints and oftentimes with an odd number of toes.
Yep. So
Tracker says arms and legs and wings like a flying squirrel. That has to be the world's largest flying squirrel because you can see in the video this tree that it actually, so it goes from one tree over to another. The tree that it goes to, you can see in the video, it actually bends down. You can see at the edge in the light where the tree is actually bending down from the weight of whatever this is. Stingray 1975 says it's definitely humanoid. I agree.
I was still kind of on the fence until she went frame by frame, and we got one frame where literally arms are spread out and the legs are spread out, and you're just looking at it, and I'm going, all right, it's got arms and legs. I mean, it's not a raccoon, it's not a squirrel, it's not a bear jumping from tree to tree. I don't know what it is at this point.
Yeah,
so.
Benito wants me to show it again. I'm going to show the what do you think? Show the Let's go. Let's show it again. We are going to show you guys. This is at full speed. I'm going to loop each one 3 times, and we'll go through this again if you guys want to pay attention. So this is going to be full speed, and then we will come back, and then we'll go the 50, and then the 25. This is full speed. Again, look in your upper left-hand corner. Okay, and this is at 50%, zoomed in and slowed down 50%. And this is at 25%, also zoomed in and slowed down to quarter speed.
A lot of people are saying that they think it's a juvenile Sasquatch, and again, not knowing what it is, I can't say whether it is or not. If it's a juvenile, then where the non-juvenile, where the fully grown ones? We're not seeing anything that would be indicative of what people are reporting in areas with full-grown Sasquatch at all. We're not seeing large footprints. We found tree twists up there, but they're not very big tree twists, and they're more. I mean, it's something that neither one of us could do, or not like there's. It's something that a grown man couldn't do, but it's still not huge like you see all the time. The weird X's that we see are usually saplings. They're not very large trees. That the we don't. A lot of tree structures are just naturally occurring, but the ones that we've seen that look interesting up there, it's not real large pieces of wood
No.
that's up there. And this area also has legends and stories
Of Cherokee little
the
people.
Cherokee little people.
Yeah.
It's not that far from where the Cherokee Moon-eyed people were supposedly coming out of the ground. So I don't know at this point. We are whatever it is it waited for me to turn my head and then it moved. And then the other one that Letitia Nunley caught also kind of waited for us to kind of go by, and then it dropped down as well. So whatever these things are, they're extremely stealthy. They're extremely quick. They are moving when we're not looking in that direction. And now both of them we saw around dusk. So now I'm kind of going, do they come out during the daytime, or
Yeah.
do they start to come out when it's darker? We have found some evidence of, I don't even know if you'd call them tunnels, like burrows up there
Yeah.
or something. Spaces underground. We found a weird hole when we were up there this time that we didn't really look at too deeply. We looked, it's about 3 or 4 feet down, and then it seemed like it went into the side. There was a lot of forest debris at the bottom of it. It's not where a tree fell over and ripped its way out of the ground.
Yeah. There's no tree there.
It's not,
but
a
it's a perfectly round hole.
it's
in the
not a
ground.
latrine unless they're bringing. It's not a latrine. I've seen too many latrines drug out there. It's not a slit trench or anything
Yeah.
like that. So it's not a latrine. I don't know what it is, but so now we're kind of going.
So like I said, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying that we've seen stuff on the ground.
Mhm.
Now we've caught stuff in the trees, and now we're finding evidence that something might be underground there. So we're being extremely cautious, kind of going up there, because it seems like every direction might potentially hold a threat up there.
Yeah, what's crazy is we didn't even know we got this. Like we put this video up, and it took
Yeah.
other people watching the video, and they saw it on there.
Well, I think part of it is that because by the time we get done out there, let's just say a standard one, we're out there for like 18, 19 hours.
Yeah.
And multiple cameras going sometimes, audio recorders, thermals, everything like that. And when I first saw it, I just thought that it didn't register with me. You know what I'm saying? It just happened too quick.
Yeah.
And it was as you can tell, it was towards the end of the video. So it was towards the end of the footage that we had looked at that day. And it wasn't until other people started honing in on it and started kind of really
Noticing it. Yeah.
noticing it. So
Rick Tavernier says had to make a lot of noise swinging through the branches. Why wasn't it filmed longer? So a lot of the noise you hear is us walking through,
leaves.
down the hill, because
Yeah.
we're walking through leaves and we're kind of hustling down the hill. So we're trying to get down the hill. And we're getting out of there because that was the day that we went back up there to get readings in the area,
Mhm.
because that's where we saw the portal. But that's the day after we got readings in the area. We went back up there, or the day after we saw the portal, but we went back up there to get readings and to look around and see if there's any evidence that was left behind from that portal or whatever it was. And so we had to get home after that. We just went up there just to kind of do a follow-up. We weren't doing a night investigation that day. And we had to get home because we had something scheduled. We had the live stream scheduled for that, right?
Yeah.
So we had a show scheduled for that.
And the reason
night.
it's not filmed longer, I'm surprised I caught it at all. I mean, because again, I'm panning like this and then I start walking. So I'm looking ahead and I just kind of take my arm. You can tell by the footage. I just kind of whip my arm back as I'm going forward and then just kind of get it. So whatever it was, waited until I moved and started moving forward and facing forward to make its move at that point.
Yeah.
So I wasn't standing there filming it. It was just me kind of moving the camera around because we both thought we had seen something in that direction, but then weren't seeing anything when we were stopped and looking.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to clean it up a little more and see if I can get it a little more concise and a little easier to take a look at. And then I'll share that out as a video. But I just wanted to show it to you guys tonight because I just really wanted to hear what you guys had to say about it. Red Wolf says, when I was watching the video, I was watching behind you guys for like the cult people. I wasn't expecting crap in the trees. No, that was so weird because we were expecting maybe if there's anybody out there, it'd be somebody like or something on the ground. We did not expect something.
Well, we watch the trees a lot.
Through the trees.
When we stop, we scan the trees and look around, but you can't really watch the trees when you're walking through the because again, we're not on hiking trails, we're not in cleared areas. I mean, it's pretty, it's pretty rough terrain that we're going through. So yeah, I don't know. We're kind of not quite. We're in the process of reevaluating how we want to approach this up there, because now, like I said, I'm not sure if there's stuff underground up there, if there's stuff in the trees up there. There's definitely a human element that is either associated with this or it's operating in the same area. It's the people up there, the cult members have to be aware of this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? They have to be aware of it. So I don't know. Or
they could be like the cause of it coming here.
Could be the cause of it. It could be, I don't know.
Erev says, some say keep eyes on the tree as well. Just did a 4.5-mile hike a few days ago, and you look way more than you think.
Because you don't want to otherwise go tumbling through the woods and break a leg, and then you're stuck up there. So, I mean, it's all well and good to go, hey, watch the trees. And we do. Every time we stop, we're scanning it out, and we try to stop at irregular intervals and try to, not be predictable. But at the same token, when you're moving, you've got to look forward and down a lot, especially when you're going downhill like we were. So.
Yeah, if you watch any of our videos, the only time we're like directly addressing the camera is if we're standing stationary. I'm not going to address the camera very much in a very direct manner when I'm hiking because I'm going to fall and break my neck. So, yeah, it's just you don't realize how much you look down and you don't look up. But when we stop and use our thermal and all of our equipment, we do look up at the trees. We didn't see anything when we were doing that. But you just never know. This was a lucky get. I think this was just
lucky. It was just
was pure luck.
I think we saw it, and I think we both saw that or the other one at that time, and we happened to kind of catch it.
I saw something over on the ridge. Something over on the ridge. It might have been the other whatever this is, but I didn't see anything behind us. I saw something over on the ridge, but it was just a dark shadow. Something moved on the ridge. So I just don't know. I do not know. M says,
I'm sorry.
That's fine. So, M says one of the best pieces of evidence I ever saw.
I don't know.
Like I don't know either.
We need to clean it up a little bit more and look at it. Once Letitia Nunley found what she found in the video and pointed it out to us, then at that point I'm going, all right, I could see maybe one misidentification of something, but now there's two.
Yeah.
She saw something that kind of watches us go by, and then kind of drops to the ground and kind of
comes out of a tree.
Yeah, it comes out of a tree again, but it moves the exact same way. So Freddie Baker says it's riding it to the ground. Yeah, that's what it looked like. It kind of grabs onto that tree and the tree bends, and then it looks like it's either riding the tree down or it lets go of the tree and goes down.
Yeah.
Point. So I don't know.
Spooktator Bob says in India, outdoors people are known to wear masks on the back of their heads, which is thought to aid in keeping tigers from ambushing from behind. Yeah, we think somebody asked earlier about using rear facing cameras if we've done that before. We've experimented with that before, but it's a lot to deal with that plus the cameras we're
It
working
works
with.
well. Like Scott Carpenter does it, but Scott Carpenter
Walks on a
walks
trail.
on a maintained and manicured trail that
Yeah.
is level, and it's a pretty easy trail. He still catches some good stuff. It's just that he is walking almost like you walk down the street. It's level. We're twisting a lot. We're climbing over stuff, under
Mhm.
stuff. Where you'd have to wear it on the back of our backpack. It gets knocked. I'm messing around with a few ideas of how to get one ran back there with like an external power source that would be angled up at the trees and able to catch that, but then as stable enough that it could handle a certain amount of like knocking around, like branches hitting it and stuff like that. So we're
Yeah.
working on it. We've just got to be careful because whatever we get has got to be at the right angle and provide really good footage, because we have a hard time getting through all the footage as it is right now.
Yeah.
And this is case in point right here. You know what I'm saying? You know, both of us didn't really see that until we saw it, but we didn't put a lot of importance behind it until somebody else pointed it out to us. So, um, so all of a sudden now you add in another 16 hours of video footage that we have to go through. It's going to get to the point where we're so far behind, we might not as well not even be
And
filming
that's
at
the
that
thing
point.
too. It's like it's you want to get the evidence, you want to get that we want to get that evidence and everything, but we're out in the woods for 16 to 18 hours filming, and we have 3-4 cameras going.
Yeah.
So each one of those cameras is 16 to 18 hours of you got to watch very, very closely, go back and forth on.
Mm-hmm.
If we keep adding cameras into this,
We're never going to get
we're
done with
never going to
stuff.
get a video out. We'll never get anything done.
Well, we'll never get anything. It just will get bogged down in data. We don't have the as it is right now. We film what we can get through. If we start filming more, we're never going to get through any of it, and it's just we're never going to find anything. I mean, at that point, I mean, we try to be as strategic as we possibly can, and there might be some value in putting a rear-facing camera, knowing what we know up there right
yeah.
now. But it's got to be done right, so it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of refine that. Jay Meyer says it almost looks like a small Bigfoot. How tall would you say it was? Taking a quick guess. I am estimating, and this is just a wild guess. I say no more than 5 feet, and I'd say probably closer to 4, and 4 under. I'd say probably my just wild ass guess 3.5 to 4 feet. I don't see it being over 5 feet, and I don't see it being much smaller than like 3.5. So, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and Tracker said the same thing. It appears the size of a human. I don't think it's quite that big, Tracker, but he goes, it appears what glider wings, or better terms, a cape. Barton said the same thing. He goes, it looks like there's something on its back. I can't tell if that is just the arm pixelating at one point because it's moving so quickly. Because again, we'll put up some GoPro footage shot around the same time of the day.
Yeah.
Because GoPros, they gather as much light as they can, but they're not night vision cameras. They're not designed to be used in the dark, and we weren't using any light sources.
Yeah, and that sun was going down, so it was like getting dark.
And it pixelates when that happens. So and that's why we kind of dismissed this at first until we slowed it down and went frame by frame. So I don't know. That's one of the things we're trying to look at, and quite honestly, that's one of the things that's got us a little confused right now. If that's just like an artifact of how quickly it's moving, or if there's legitimately something like on its back there. So I don't know.
Dolores Edwards says, could it be some of those weird deranged people?
They're freaking wood ninjas at that point, if that's the case.
I think Cirque du Soleil would be calling it.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that was pretty high up in those trees. Yeah.
Sheila Ebeling, hello, sums it up perfectly. I don't know what it is, but it's not nothing.
That's
where we're at.
That's where we're at too.
So
yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I think we're almost those deranged people at this point. After seeing that, I feel like I'm just like crazier as a result of this.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what's crazy is that she's shown it to people. I haven't really. I mean, I've shared it with like a few people online. I shared it with Barton last night. I shared it with our friend that runs Scripted Response, that we, correspond with quite a bit, and showed it to them. But she's like shown people that aren't really into this sort of stuff, and they've looked at it and gone, "Oh my Lord, what's that?"
Yeah.
So, but at the same token, we know there's something there. I can't tell you what it is, and I'm not going to build a narrative here because I don't think we've got enough data.
We just don't. No.
This piece matches up with the other stuff we found. Small footprints, not the glyphs or the sigils that we're finding up are made out of wood, but small, almost like small Bigfoot sign. small possible burrows underground.
Yeah.
That email that we've got, we haven't addressed that. That when that guy emailed us back, and if you're watching this, if you have any insight on this, throw it at us. He said that he didn't that because we had listed that audio that we put up as Bigfoot audio, possible Bigfoot audio.
He said
And
there's not Bigfoot up there.
he goes, hey, I don't even know if Bigfoot exists, but if it exists, it's not up here. There's little things and bigger mean things, but little things. So are these the little things that he referred to? Or are these the bigger things and there's even smaller things up there? I don't know at this point. So we don't have enough. We've got data, but the data is not really.
It's inconclusive. It's
us,
incomplete right now. It would follow that up. Rick Tavernier says go back and look for prints, hair, scat, etc.
We do that all the time.
We've been back several times since we've gotten this, and we go over that area. We're going back some more. It's just I don't know.
Yeah. Dolores Edwards, that has arms and hands, it looks like, not a bird. So E-Rev says there were warnings as a kid to stay away from the little ones. Yeah. And there's a lot of stories of Cherokee little people in that area. So Jill Duck mentioned maybe it's an Albert witch. Maybe that's what the same creatures. We don't really have an Albert witch down here. There's the Cherokee little people that are down here, but maybe it's the same creature with just different regional names for it. So yeah. SC007 is it a flying monkey from the Wizard of Oz? I can't believe I didn't make that parallel before and go, yeah, just at least go. I don't know, man. I don't know.
At this point, I think anything could happen.
Yeah, Benita Wilcox make out shoulders, head, and arm.
I've got a couple of screen grabs where you can see limbs attached, like grabbing the limbs. You know what I'm saying? But I have screen grabs of it, and
it's like a monkey grabbing a branch. They don't let go of one branch until they've got the other one in hand. Yeah. And this looks like it's stretched out right at between.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So
Southern Sasquatch. Oh, sorry. Southern Sasquatch says, do y'all carry weapons with you on these trips?
Yeah,
yes.
But
I don't know if we're fast enough. I don't know.
Whatever that was moved like really smooth and really quick.
Through trees, like through the tops of trees.
From above. And so I don't know. That's one of the things we're kind of reevaluating right now.
Drop bears.
Yeah. So drop bears. Good Lord. So Bill Smith said, Bruja.
Okay. Can you guys see me? Okay. What is going on? All right. If you guys can see me, let me know. Everything just crashed. Like our internet, everything just crashed. Joe disappeared. You can see it's all just a conspiracy. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Let me know if you guys can see me. David Hunt says we're back on. Okay. That is so weird. It is so weird when we start talking about all this stuff and then something like that happens. Yeah, everything just like crashed. Joe's gonna check that. He's checking the connection right now on the Wi-Fi. That is so weird. That is so weird. Yes, Dooster, Joe disappeared. Yeah, we've lost Joe. Yeah, the creature of the trees has taken Joe at this point. So, yeah, that is so strange. Our internet, I've been on the internet all day and not had a single problem. Not a single problem. I'm gonna
Are you up on a hotspot?
I'm on a hotspot, yeah.
There's no internet outages in our area, but our internet's out.
You're gonna have to let me use a charger because my phone is not super high. So sorry. You have to give me a power brick. What is so strange? That is so strange. Sam Burton says, "Are there monkeys in North Georgia? I've certainly been to parts of Florida where they are there. It was really cold." Somebody mentioned that in one of our comments that even if there were like loose monkeys, they wouldn't be out in the trees at that point. We were out over the weekend and it was 20 degrees where we were. So it was really, really cold out there. And we actually got snow recently too up there. So it's they said that they don't move around when it's that cold. Yeah, they lost our audio first. Frozen screen. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know when all this happened.
You just keep rolling with that.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. This was supposed to be a real groundbreaking live. I can't seem to present things properly. We lose our internet. Jay Myers, whose ex-wife was out over the weekend running through the woods. Yeah. Yeah, that's par for the course, isn't it? All right. I'm going to go back up there here and see if I can go back up here. Martin thinks that Mr. Pilates would love this footage. We're going to clean up this footage and make it a little more presentable. That's kind of raw and rough what I showed you guys, but I really wanted to share that with my hellbenders and show you guys what we were getting, what we were out there seeing and experiencing, because it's way better than me trying to just tell you guys about it. And I know a lot of you have seen it personally when you watch the video. Precarious. This is the worst advice ever. Put cameras in unusual places like the back of your elbow or the back of your calf. Put a camera inside your ear. Let's see. Are you getting yours to work?
I'm getting on. I'm just going to see if I can link up on my.
Wow. So
sorry about that, folks.
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
Weird. We haven't had any weird issues around now. Keep in mind, it's supposed to be bad luck to talk about the little people. So
that's what we get.
That's pretty much a worldwide, everything from European folklore to Native Americans. It's bad luck to talk about them. So
everybody's talking about how you disappeared when we came back on. Mark Hastings says the Bruja took action. They are watching. Yes. Yep. All right. I'm going to go down here. Not today. Saban says, maybe if we say NSA 5 times in the mirror, your bandwidth will speed up. I dropped down the quality. That way we can hopefully work with this hotspot. Is your
you just handle that. Let me kind of work.
Sure, no problem. No problem. I'm going through the chat, everybody. We're in crisis mode here, trying to figure out what happened to our internet. Of course. Matt Keenan says, my internet crashed too. Could be a worldwide attack. We could be this could be it. Could be the big one. All right. Manu says haunted holler. Yeah, it's the haunting and the weird activity around here has really ramped back lately.
I don't think this is like a haunting thing. This is just weird. So yeah.
So yeah, Tracker said I knew they'd give Joe back. Yeah, they wouldn't keep Joe for long. Any kidnapper will drop him right back off.
All right, let's see.
So, all right. Is anybody else having problems? Are we okay? Appalachian Tales of Terror with Jimmy Blunt says, what video I want to see? I showed the cycle twice. So when we're done here, you'll probably have to just watch the live stream again because I'm on a mobile hotspot because everything crashed here. So I'm not going to be able to show the video again. But I will present the video to you guys in a more organized fashion when I actually release it. It's going to be involved in our next video too, as sort of a callback to what we've experienced in that area. Francisco says, you guys are my new favorite YouTubers. Found a channel that is open-minded to almost everything. Very cool. We are very open-minded to everything, but it seems like everything is getting thrown at us as of late. We started out doing this. We were kind of interested. Joe was more interested in Sasquatch. I was more interested in general paranormal ghost type stuff. And it seems like the more we do this kind of work, it kind of all gets thrown at us all at once. And especially right now. Now we're dealing with occult practices, possible occult practices, cults up in the woods, and portals and cryptids, things flying through the trees. So who knew? Let's see here. David Hunt suggests you definitely need to go back and film the same footage. Yep, we'll be back. We're going to be back several times. We're going to just keep going back to this area and checking it out and seeing if we can shake something out. We didn't see anything too crazy recently, but that just really flipped us both out.
All right. Well, it is what it is. So
Yeah.
hopefully we didn't lose a lot of people with that. So Spooktator Bob had said never gift them. We don't ever do any sort of gifting at all. We don't gift ever. I don't think it's gifting. It's almost like you're making offerings to something. So we're not big on the gifting.
You know what? We get this for trying to start the live stream early.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
happens.
So well, I mean, did you answer this? Any weirdness going on home and after? Actually, it's been very quiet around here up until now.
Yeah, just now.
I mean, no equipment issues, no nothing at this point. But it's just until we started talking about this, and then all of a sudden,
it wasn't
bam.
working. Yeah. Take Two Wheels says sorry for photo bombing last week, but once I'm onto something, I'm focused. So Take Two Wheels is the one who took the footage and created these really cool images out of it. He really worked hard on bringing out the details of whatever that is. So I'm going to include that too, so you guys can check that out. It's weird stuff. It's so weird. This is stuff that I've never expected, and I have my own theories, but I'm not ready to share them yet about what I think this is. Shelly Vidal says, maybe bring another set of eyes with a camera. It's hard for us to find people to go out with us that are local to us, that are able to actually go out with us. It's almost impossible for us to find other people around here who can go out and do what we do with us. Grace W says, Joe and Jesse, could the little things be the same figure you saw near the weird portal light things? I proposed that to Joe. I asked Joe, I was like, do you think that could be the same thing? We just don't know. We don't know. We don't know if these things have always been there. We don't know if they came through the portal, if they were what was involved in the portal. We have no clue. We just don't have enough information right now.
Arden Groves, no gifting. I shall not bow to these beasts. Amen. That's how I look at it. You're like you're making offerings to something that maybe in the distant past people worshipped as like gods or whatever. I'm not, yeah, like I'm like you. I'm not going to actually put offerings out to it. Rare Robert said he loves our videos in the field. You two make me nervous. I don't know if it's your microphone, but you make too much noise. There's no way for us to move through those woods silently and then juggle the equipment. I mean, if we just drop all of the equipment and then just try to like fox walk through the woods and you're not, then we might as well just shut the channel down at this point. The whole purpose of the channel is to try to share some of this stuff with people. And the other token too is that we don't think we're sneaking up on anything out there. Obviously, if these things are in the trees moving around at will,
we're not sneaking up on them.
We're not sneaking up on anything. I don't care what you do.
But you're in something else's environment. It knows you're there long before you're there. You're in its environment, so we don't think that we're hiding from whatever this is. And it seems like when we're moving around and kind of making noise and doing like a kinetic investigation, it seems like more activity happens, more stuff seems to happen to us. But we are walking through the middle of the forest, so you're gonna hear leaves and all kinds of stuff when we're going through the woods. That's how it is. We're not on a sound stage, so that's just gonna be how it is. Southern Sasquatch says, just subbed to your channel the other day when I watched the Burning Light episode. I love your channel and content. Good stuff. Thank you. We put a lot of time and effort into this, and I don't know. It's becoming something, I guess. It's getting weird and terrifying. Every day we always say, like, maybe we should take up a different hobby because now we have unknown creatures coming through the trees at us.
You have asked if we checked any vids from Cryptid World. We don't really watch a lot of, I mean, when we are watching anything on YouTube and just like when we're reading stuff, a lot of times it's not even like quote unquote cryptid related. It's stuff that's related to how we approach things. So when we do watch anything like on there, it's usually kind of related to a particular skill set that we're trying to develop up to kind of help us with our own. So I'm sure there's a lot of great stuff going on out there. It's a lot of times it's just a time issue. We don't have the time to watch a lot of it. That's why we always appreciate when people are like, "Hey, check this video out." If it's something applicable to kind of what we're experiencing or what we do, we always appreciate that because we more than likely have not seen it. So
Henry says, "Take a donkey for protection. Those beasts will take on anything."
All right, start the Hellbent Holler Donkey Fund.
Jesus, helicopters, drones, donkeys.
Donkeys could be cheaper than a. Well, I don't know. What's a good donkey run nowadays?
I have
no price. I have no price what a donkey would go in today's economy.
I can always make some calls.
Make some calls, man.
Make some calls. I've priced out water buffalo before. I'll price out a donkey. Let's see.
Other people talking about how their internet's wonky. Yeah, I'm having trouble even seeing what is going on here right now.
Take Two Wheels says, Jesse and Joe, your LBL investigations are amazing, but that spot is just the most unusual and fascinating investigation yet. Yeah, we haven't spent a ton of time in the LBL, so I don't know. We're here. We're at this location, this spot. This is where we go. We're there every few days.
Mm-hmm.
We're there every few days, so we're there all the time. And we talked about this earlier, that we think that, we get a lot of crazy evidence. We get a lot of crazy footage and audio and stuff like that. I think that's because we're in the woods a lot.
Yeah, because you start to kind of go, why is this happening to us? There's other people that do this sort of stuff, but there's not that many people that do this sort of stuff. That's the thing, is that there's a lot of people that talk about this sort of stuff. There's like paranormal sightseeing stuff, but as far as like going, all right, we're going to go into the woods for 14 miles, with a bunch of equipment on our back in the middle of the night in the woods when nobody else is around. I just think that this stuff goes on a lot more than what people think. And that there's just not a lot of people out there like deep in the woods with the equipment to catch it. I think if there were more people doing what we're doing, we'd have more footage. That's why we always try to encourage people to do this sort of stuff. One of the things that always like kind of irks me is that people that are involved in the actual search for this stuff, they want to act like they're in some sort of like hidden, like some sort of exclusive club, don't try this at home. Screw that. Try this at home, man. Be safe about it. I mean, don't get yourself in over your head. Approach it
because I think
cautiously.
If we get more people out in the woods looking for this stuff, that maybe we'll get more evidence. And we'll get closer to coming up. Hang on one second. You want to try to switch it over to regular? Okay. We're going to try to switch over to regular internet. Joe said that it's working now. So let's see. Hold, please.
Turn your video footage up higher. Well, maybe not. It just went out again.
Did it? It says connected here.
You're connected?
It says it.
All right. Ask if people can see us. So.
Yeah, I guess so. Can you guys see us? I hate this. This has been the worst live stream we've ever done.
Exactly. So we go all the way to the bottom. Can you guys see and hear us?
This has been the worst live stream we've ever done.
Yeah. All right, we're coming across. All right, I guess my phone's not connecting to the internet now, though.
Well, just stop trying to, because we need as much internet as we can to make this work.
All right.
All right, we're gonna try to work with that.
All right, brief break, but we're back. Sorry about all the glitches tonight, guys.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on here.
We were dealing with that for a while, and it always seemed when certain topics came up, we would have internet issues, and then we wouldn't have them for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't have cable. I mean, when we watch anything on TV, we're watching like YouTube stuff through the internet. So we use our internet pretty much daily here, and we never had any real issues with it. And then until we start doing live streams and start talking about certain stuff. And then other people will always chime in going, this happens to other channels too, when they start talking about
certain things.
Jay Meyer said the same thing. With all your gear, how can you walk quiet through I mean, even if we stripped down to no gear, just some water and guns, went out.
So are we naked with water
and guns?
Is that
Naked.
what this is?
We even then we're not, because we're not on trails. I mean, we're at the most we follow old like logging roads and like game trails and all that. But these aren't hiking trails we're going through. So, I mean, and it's just, I mean, we're in a mostly deciduous forest in the winter at this point with a lot of like duff on the ground, like a lot of like leaf debris and everything like that. So,
Jill Duck says, I'd be interested to see what would happen if you took a bunch of blessed crosses out there and put them near the supposed ritual sites.
great minds think alike, Jill Duck.
Yeah, Joe sometimes will carry holy water and black salt with him. And we've noticed a pattern that when he carries the holy water, it seems like nothing happens out there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's actually got me more nervous about the phenomenon, because like whatever this is
affected by holy
water. That's
read into it what you want, but our sample size of the 3 times I've done it, we've never had anything happen. And then one night we were having crazy stuff happen. We went to move to a different part of that area, and we decided to take the vehicle. We hiked back down to the vehicle, and while we were in the vehicle, I changed out backpacks, and in the backpack I had that holy water, and we got out. There was nothing happening at all.
Yeah.
You would have thought that it was the quietest night imaginable. So we're going to kind of mess with that and see if that's something that can be replicated, that will have activity. And then if we go back in with holy water and we don't have activity, what does that mean? I don't know. You draw your own conclusions from it, but the conclusions ain't good. So
Take Two Wheels says, my mom's 81st birthday. She's watching right now. She may be the oldest hellbender. Well, happy birthday. Happy 81st birthday.
Happy 81st birthday, Mama Take Two Wheels.
Mama Take Two Wheels.
Did you want to take a second and put the quality back up?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. Mm-hmm. You're on the ball.
Look at me. I don't know how to share images or video, but I can change the quality.
Finding the trackways and sunspots. There's a great deal of solar activity. Hey, that might be, I didn't check today. We will sometimes check to see if there's solar activity when we have weird equipment malfunctions out there. But just rushing home from work to get on here tonight, I didn't look at it. So that's good to know. So Dolores Edwards says, I hope it is far enough away that the things don't follow you home. If you look at the history of people that have dealt with this, distance does not seem to be prohibitive to them following you home, both from like the Skinwalker Ranch, Tom Powell, when he used to talk about that. So I don't know. We've had stuff around the woods around the house before, but it's been extremely, extremely quiet lately. It's been quiet in the house. So I don't know. We'll see if anything starts to ramp up. This might have just been just a coincidence that the internet went out tonight.
Well, somebody said that you're not the only one with a glitch just now. So this might be a...
Really? Who else had a glitch, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, this might be a big event.
And then SC007's got me sold on the donkey. A donkey can almost pack most of your gear in and out of the woods. There's a guy that is involved in Bigfoot research out in, where is he now? Is he in Idaho now, I think? He used to run pack mules and like hunt elk and everything like that. But he just had a string of mules that he would run. He doesn't do it anymore. But he would just give me horror stories about mules, how mean they are, man. You can't turn your backs on them.
Cryptid Response says, I'll buy a donkey and donate it to the cause if you pack in a donkey. I can imagine Joe just going crazy trying to corral Jesse and the donkey from danger.
Oh, good Lord, yeah. No donkey.
So you can have your own donkey horror stories that you can share with others.
I've got my hands full as it is right now.
Yeah. So. You know what? I will say, we were talking about, maybe no events or anything going on here, but what have you noticed? We've both been pretty irritable lately.
Been irritable, and we've been sick since we saw that light. But again, everybody's sick.
Everybody's got like
everybody's sick
sinus problems and stuff like that. We're having sinus problems.
I mean, we have not been able to shake it, and it happened immediately. We don't get sick a lot.
No.
And I mean, we run ourselves down exhausted sometimes, but we have been sick since we saw that light.
Yeah.
And we have can't shake it, and we are not sleeping well. And
we have been very irritable with each other the past couple of days. And I think that's probably, I don't know. We'll blame it on the ghosts.
Blame it on the ghosts. So
The ghost grumpiness is what we've got.
Earlier, Tracker had asked if I had, and it's probably way back in here, and I can't find it in the. He asked if we had experimented with the infrasound equipment yet, and yeah, I'm experimenting with it. You're not going to see any footage on it as of yet because it's going to be specialized. I can move around with it and track it and everything like that. I can move around with it and deploy it on the go and all that, but right now, I'm kind of getting a feel for it, and because there's natural infrasound that exists around us. If a helicopter goes overhead, it's going to be emitting infrasound. Um, there's atmospheric infrasound that comes along. So right now, I'm playing around with the settings and trying to get an idea of what's normal, so that way we don't get any like false alarms with it. Somebody had sent me a clip of somebody using the more basic version, the version that we didn't have customized of the infrasound equipment. And I couldn't tell what they were doing with it. I mean, they were basically just looking at it going, oh, these bars are going up. Something's happening. And I'm going, there's a lot of things that could cause for that. So I've got to get experience with it in a wide, I can't make a helicopter go overhead at will. So I have to kind of be outside, just kind of toying with it and then just kind of see cause and effect, what happens naturally. And then how does that affect the equipment at this point? So that's going to be a little bit of a process to get all that done, so that when I do say that I'm sensing something, when it's sensing something, I'll be able to speak with a little bit of authority on it. So
I know that we're going to deploy it when we go to the LBL.
we are, and that's big. The big thing right now is instead of just trying to mess around with it and get bad data, I need to get very familiar with it before we get to the LBL. Then, so
we're excited about getting back to the LBL. I think I mentioned this in my little live stream I did earlier that we're gonna have some special guests, some new experiments. It's gonna be a blast.
Stephen Smith has a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Stephen Smith.
Happy birthday, Smitty. Somebody said so. Yeah.
Chris W says, I haven't been sick in years, but I've been sick for a month now.
That's where we're at, man.
And it's not just you. It seems like there's a lot of people having the same problem.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of people who work a lot too are pretty ran down at this point. I know that we're getting burned out, but it's the nature of the beast as it is.
Mm-hmm. Lovey Love says this could be what's going on with our sleep infrasound. That is actually something that infrasound does. Infrasound sensitivity does cause irritability and disruption of sleep patterns. It doesn't cause a lot of the other stuff people attribute to it. Generally, the infrasound that is manufactured or occurs naturally doesn't do that. So, but yeah, that is one of the things for infrasound. It causes disruption in sleep patterns and irritability at that point. So.
Patricia Gambino Harrington says, I rewatched Werewolf Experiment Part 3. LBL absolutely terrifies me. It's like the evil has permeated the land. I can't get around that reinforced door with those locks. So talking about that structure that we found in Part 3 that looks like it could be what would be an actual bunker situation. It is a concrete reinforced building. The walls are feet thick and there's shelving in there. And we found that, and that's the most reinforced structure we found in the LBL at this point. And it was in an area where we experienced activity and stuff. But then we went to one of these service sheds right nearby and we found this metal door that had reinforcing all around it. That thing was this thick. It had 4 or 5 locks on it. But it locked from the inside. You couldn't lock it from the outside. You locked it from the inside. So, and we figured out that was the door that goes on that thing. So that's the closest thing to a bunker type structure that we had actually found in the LBL. We think that what people refer to as the bunkers in the massacre site, or where they think the alleged massacre took place, we think those might be rainwater cisterns.
Yeah, because we found, or parts of like wells, we've found similar like concrete structures just buried in the forest around the LBL.
Yeah, and we actually found there's a bit of a homestead still intact there, and there is a rainwater cistern out behind it. And it looks exactly what you find at the alleged massacre site. Same dimensions, same building materials, same structure. So we think that what is at the alleged massacre site is actually rainwater cisterns. But what we found at this other location appears to be closer to a protected building that you could go into if you were being attacked or assaulted by something.
Mm-hmm. EREV said just had a high spike on the Earth Schumann frequency the other day. That's usually with like coronal mass ejections and all that. So, and what's funny though is that the Schumann frequency, what is that, 7.83 hertz. So that is also a low wave. Infrasound is mechanical sound waves under 20 hertz, and then the Schumann frequency is 7.83. It's basically the heartbeat of the Earth. It's the but that's interesting. That okay. Maybe precarious. Maybe have a drone in follow mode. It's hard to operate drones in that area because it's so heavily wooded. There's not a lot of open space up there. I mean, we could have it go up really high and then kind of follow us. It's just going to get the treetops. It's not going to really get anything. There's a really good tree canopy in there. So
David Hunt says, Jesse, Joe, what's your opinion on the guy on TikTok who filmed a giant on the mountain and then said he had been followed by the FBI and now turned up dead? True or false? I
use your critical thinking skills.
Critical thinking skills.
That's actually, somebody had sent that to us, and that's weird. It's wild. It's TikTok, so you never know what's going on.
You never know. However,
the guy did die.
He's dead.
The guy did die.
I mean, that's commitment to your TikTok channel if you're gonna croak afterwards. If you're faking everything.
So, and then there's stuff saying that he was having some personal troubles and all that, but I don't know. Here's the thing that happens with like internet meme stuff. So much information comes out for and against so quickly, and you don't know what's legit and what's not. It's some people are just spreading false information just for amusement. I think some people, a lot of times, we always liken it to like the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
Nobody is ever going to know anything about that because there's been so many red herrings laid out at this point. You don't know what's true.
Yeah.
We were laughing because we were watching somebody on Facebook mock somebody else for even daring to think it was true, because the guy flat out came out and said it was fake. And people were trying to go, well, yeah, but it looked like he was saying that under duress.
Yeah, he looked like he was in a hostage situation.
And then the follow-up video was him basically going, no, man, these videos were real. These videos were real. And they were just like, oh, you're ridiculous. He came right out and said it was fake. And just cherry-picked that one little thing to prove their point and ignored everything else that was going on with it. So I don't know. It's interesting. The only thing that made me doubt it, well, let me say the main thing that made me doubt it was the car that like he
kept coming up on,
and somebody was just going, secret government agents drive a 2012 something with a bad custom muffler job. And I just went, yeah, that doesn't quite ring true. Seems like if you're going to not use an official government vehicle, you'd want something that just didn't really stand out that much.
You would think that, but they're a lot craftier than you think.
They did the double whammy on me.
They did the double whammy. Yes,
oh, damn,
it's the red herring of the red herring.
Oh, good Lord, mind blown. So,
Sharon Lane says, "Have you heard of sightings of very large animals near Oak Ridge, Tennessee, because of the federal lab?"
That hit one of the other podcasts, and then people just went crazy with it.
Yeah,
Oak Ridge. There might very well be.
Next time we go to LBL. You can go and tour. You can't tour like the cool parts of the lab, but you can tour like parts of the Oak Ridge facility in Tennessee. You can actually go up there and get like a tour of some of the facility. It'd be kind of cool just to go check it out. That's if we could get out of Buc-ee's in time to make it to the lab.
Yeah, exactly.
So every time we travel up there, we have to stop at Buc-ee's, and it's an event. But I'd love to go check out that lab.
Yeah, we need to go check it out. So.
Were we coming back from LBL and we saw those, the nuclear like site? That was TVA nuclear site, wasn't it?
Yeah, where there's a freaking nuclear reactor there with all these signs saying "Stay out, authorized personnel only." And Jesse's like, "I just want to get a few pictures." We've got a car loaded in with all of our research stuff. So we've got a freaking Subaru loaded in with like Geiger counters and spectrum analyzers. Weird flashlights, camera equipment, parabolic dishes, all this stuff, a fair amount of weaponry, you know what I'm saying, and Jessie decides she's just going to drive past these signs to go get, and I'm going, we're going to end up, this is like, they have shoot to kill authorizations in this. We need to get out of here. And Jessie's going, well, there'd be a gate. And I'm going, they don't need a gate. They've got this sign. They've got roving bands of armed men here to make sure that just get us out of here. All right, fine, then let's whatever. I just wanted one photo, and I'm going,
listen, I had a Karen moment. Okay,
Yeah.
I had a Karen. And if they come out there, I'd be like, let me speak to your nuclear manager.
Sure.
Oh my God. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm
Yeah, a little too headstrong sometimes. So a little too headstrong.
You see that it's not just when we're in the woods. Joe has to basically grab me and take me out of dangerous situations, right? All right.
Stuff about Oak Ridge. Yeah, it's weird because it seems like all of a sudden that just got on the radar of everybody. And you know what? I mean, there could have been stuff going on there all along, and people just started to recently talk about it. It could be that it got popular and now people are talking about it because that's kind of the end thing. We've gotten a few accounts from around there, but nothing that really comes to mind as far as details go, just like standard stuff. But that might be something to look into eventually. Because again, there's people talking about it, but nobody's actually out there. Now you'd have to be careful. You'd have to stay to public lands and make sure that you don't cross over into anything actually operated by Oak Ridge, if you could. But that might be something to actually kind of go there and do some actual physical investigation on the ground, looking around to see what we find.
Grace was talking about the collider that we have here. It's not as big as the CERN one, but I still don't trust it. Yeah. Yeah, that's all we need is multiple of those running at one time. That's at the Los Alamos lab? Is that where that is?
Well, they've got Los Alamos. They've got, CERN, obviously. So, anyway.
Oof. Well, I know that Bob Lazar worked at Los Alamos, but they deny his employment was there.
Yeah. Scott Yeager, warm January. Yeah, it's been weird. Weather has been weird here. We had a extremely bad. Well, the whole country, half the country had that very frigid snap, and then 3 days later, everybody's walking around like short sleeves. But he has heard that storms ramp up dogman sightings. Is there any merit to that in your experience? That is one of the things that traditionally. You don't hear about that having an effect on Sasquatch sightings per se, but you do hear about that with dogman sightings. That it's one of those things where dogman always seems to have, whether it's a legitimate thing or not, but always seems to have those paranormal kind of overtones too. You hear more about dogmen around old, Native American mounds, like cemeteries, places like that. So old churchyards. So. Which is weird because if you go over to Europe, there's a lot of the black dog fetch and everything like that. A lot of these canine cryptids over there also are seen around the same places: churchyards, graveyards, everything like that.
Places of crossing.
Old, old megaliths, megalithic stone structures and everything. So. Take Two Wheels asked, Dawsonville Forest in Georgia, where they irradiated the forest with radiation. Have you guys been there? We have not. No, I'm not familiar. Are you familiar with Dawsonville Forest? When it was irradiated?
They should have never give you feds radiation.
Dawsonville Forest. Let me go and get that.
No, I haven't heard of that. Yeah, there's something about Los Alamos that the wildlife gets big there too because of the radiation.
That was the Georgia Nuclear Aircraft Lab. No,
it's a public use forest. We can
we'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, we can go there. Josh Seacrest says, have you guys looked into the Uwharrie National Forest in central North Carolina? Lots of activity there as well. We've addressed this from time to time. The Uwharrie Forest is a little hot in the Bigfoot world right now. I do believe that there's probably something going on there, or there was something going on there. There's tale of a petroglyph in the park, in the forest, that is actually a dog-headed petroglyph. I'd love to go check that out and love to go see that. However, the Uwharrie, like I said, is a bit of a hot topic amongst the Bigfoot community. So a lot of folks are going out there, and I think that they're hooping and hollering at each other.
I think there's a lot of Bigfooters per square mile up there sometimes.
And it's not a big forest at all. It's not big at all. I know MK Ultra Hiking, he's out there all the time. So he would be a good person to ask about that. He comes out there a lot.
Sharon Lane said she had a friend who worked at Los Alamos. Wildlife gets very, very large around there, the radiation. when Vice News went into around Chernobyl. Remember that? The wolves were like really large, like it's irradiated mutant wolves that have like zero fear of like mankind there. They just have zero fear of man, and they were very large. They didn't know if it was just because there were no people there, so they were able, because wildlife's bounced back in the Chernobyl zone there. They didn't know if it was just because the eating was so good, or if it was something to do with the radiation. And just subsequent generations of wolves had been larger and larger. So
Shade Viking says, Holler, did you ever hear of the loud bass subwoofer type trumpet sounds that have been heard all over the
sky
world?
trumpets, yeah. Yeah, they just seem like they disappeared all of it, or at least people stopped talking about them.
Yeah, that was kind of going around a lot, like videos of sky trumpets.
Yeah, because the first legit ones came out, and then people were trying to like replicate it, kind of fake it, and you could tell the fake ones when you heard them. They didn't sound anything, because it would just be one person going, "Oh my Lord, guys, I'm hearing these noises. Hold on," and then people in the street below them are just acting normally. Well, the first ones you'd see like literally everybody stopping, people coming out of their apartments. Multiple people in one area reporting it at the same time, and then the other ones was just like some schlub with like a cell phone that would just lay in like the noises afterwards. People were using noises from video
Isn't
games.
that supposed to be the like the heralding of the apocalypse?
Yeah, it's supposed to be sky trumpets. Yeah, so
we've got weird booms that we hear in that area we've been going to with the portal and all this stuff that we've been showing you guys. We've been hearing weird booms out there. We heard them the past couple of days that we were out there, and they're just kind of random. It sounds like somebody took a shipping container and then took it really high off the ground and then dropped it. It's just like a whoa, whoa. We have a video where we actually caught those. We got that audio, and you can see us like react. We're like, "What is that?" So it's weird. It is weird.
All right.
Rob S. I think it's a federal crime to take pics of that installation. I could be wrong. Careful.
Oh no, it is. It is.
It
is. So
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So I did not take my photos. Just so you know.
We did a U-turn and got out.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I did not take any photos. Oh, while we're sitting here, why don't you guys make sure you hit that like button? I don't know if we deserve it today for all of our problems.
Yeah, for all the technical glitches. So,
but we still appreciate those pity likes.
We're never going to get that donkey at this rate.
I know. We'll never get the donkey.
So
all my donkey dreams are dashed. Collider. Talking about colliders.
Rice Krispie. Man, you guys are all over the place tonight. Huh?
Yeah.
Talking about irradiated wolves. Cryptid response. What's up, buddy? UARI has a lot of reports. The only downside is there's too many researchers in the same area can lead to issues of overlapping each other's research. It can also lead to one person doing call blasting or howling and beating on a tree with a stick, and then the next person one hill over
doing the exact same,
hearing that, and then thinking that and they just start to communicate with each other at this point. So now, however, we've there's a researcher by the name of Lee that's up there that's got a YouTube channel. I think it's like Lee's Great Adventures or whatever. He was telling us about some stuff that he's experienced up there, but he had been running into some of the similar stuff that we have recently. We're kind of like all over the board with any sort of weirdness that comes along. We'll look into it. He's a dedicated Bigfoot researcher, and he's been running into some like weird lights and some similar stuff. So I think there's definitely some stuff going on up there, but I just think sometimes it just gets overwhelmed, and I don't think you can trust anything that you hear up there. Now, if you're seeing like just a ball of light floating on its own, well, that's obviously not a Bigfoot researcher. But if you're up there and you're hearing Bigfoot calls, I mean, I wouldn't be able to safely kind of come back and go, hey, I heard Bigfoot in the UARI, because I probably heard a Bigfoot researcher in the UARI. So. And Jill Duck says the same thing. The UARI was full of four-wheel drive trucks and tons of noise when we were there last spring. Yeah, they've opened up like a four-wheeling place there. And I think that in addition to the prescribed four-wheeling area, I think people are just four-wheeling wherever they want to up there. And that's obviously going to that's going to kind of take away from the experience up there. So
talking about the UARI?
Yeah. MK Ultra, listening, and I kind of disagree with it being small and a hot topic of Bigfoot. It's been almost a decades since finding Bigfoot's been there and it's moved on. Yeah, there's still a ton of people though. I mean,
maybe they listen. He's up there all the time. It
Yeah.
might not be that. Hang on.
Well,
Let
I mean,
me
again,
adjust
well-
here before I start talking. But it might be that they're just talking about going online and they're not actually going.
Well, that's where I was going to.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that maybe what we're seeing is because we're not up there. I mean, it's right around the corner from us, but we're not up there. We got our hands full in North Georgia right now. We're not going to have an area that's been consistently active and go, let's just, go to somewhere where there may or may not be anything going on. But there's a lot of talk about it. If you go by what people are saying, that there's dozens of people out there like every day of the week right now trying to like do it. So again, with you being on the ground, you might know more than us, but we're just going by what the talk on the street is. So
the talk on the street.
Talk on the street.
Those dogman toughs on the street.
Anthony Pruitt was talking about a backpack that we could use for cameras, backpacks that recharges. We take power bricks and all that with us, but the thing is that it's got to be, again, we spend a pretty good portion of our time like on literally all fours, like crawling under stuff, going through really steep, like really just steep angles, like of the terrain and all of that. So we've got our backpack set up pretty well to be able to do that and then carry what we need to carry. But again, that my concern for that would be the weight thing, obviously the weight thing, and then just what sort of balance we would have with it. So.
I guess you saw this already where Jill was talking about it's full of 4-wheel drive trucks and tons of noise. Yeah, did they install an ATV
again
section there? I know that
MK could talk about it more than we could, because what I heard is that they allowed it in a certain area, but it was pretty much not forest wide, but it was in a lot of areas where it wasn't supposed to be at that point.
I know that a lot of national forests have put in ATV trails. I know that there's one in Clinton, South Carolina that is part of the Sumter Forest. But
that's where people are just getting killed in like waves down there, right? So, running into tree limbs and stuff.
This is near it's near where I take my courses when I go into like do survival courses or for wilderness first aid and stuff. The school I go to is down there, and they're near where the ATV trails are, and they go down there and find people just dead all the time. Apparently that's so dangerous. But a lot of these national forests are having these ATV trails put in, and just people are just getting murked left and right.
Yeah. Take Two Wheels asked if we heard any metallic noises near that strange portal stop. No,
not that I recall.
Not anything at all at that point. Because it was so quiet, and we're just basically turning around in circles, just checking it out, and we didn't see anything. And then we saw that we didn't hear anything afterwards, at least not that night. And then Benita Wilcox said, "No eating the fish or deer from Oak Ridge area. Signs are posted."
Well, that'll tell you everything you need to know.
I'm going to eat that fish
and
not. That deer, and then it's going to be me swinging through the trees like that thing was. We're going to just fight fire with fire up there. Do you know what I'm saying? So.
Here, you get on to me about stuff, and then you want to eat
I'm going to eat the irradiated fish. Yeah. I'll show you. Shade Viking, who knows? We all know strange things are afoot in the sky and everywhere. Yeah, that's our big thing, is that we know they're pretty much unless you're just like a die hard skeptic who's just completely unopen to any new information, there's weird stuff in the sky. Even if you're somebody who just never gets on the woods yourself, you've accepted just from what's been released that there's weird stuff in the sky. Mm-hmm. Our thing is that there's equally weird stuff on the ground, and maybe even in the ground, that may or may not be associated or tied into the weird stuff in the air, but it's weird stuff everywhere. So
Jay Myers says, "Y'all are the Starsky and Hutch of the cryptid world."
That's probably the best compliment anybody's ever paid us ever.
Truly.
Yeah. If you guys can hit that like button to try to get us up in the algorithm so we can get that donkey. The response says, "We need to find the most gangsta donkey alive."
Oh my gosh. Yep. Was there a donkey at the farm in the LBL? No, there wasn't.
There was not a donkey. Yeah.
They have an 1800s working farm at the LBL, and you can go and just wander around it. There's a house, there's a barn, a couple of pigs, ducks, chickens, all kinds of stuff like that. We when we go to the LBL, we also do.
Jill Duck, $20. Put that towards the Beast of Burden. You, Jill Duck.
Thank you, Jill Duck.
The Beast of Burden Fund.
When we go to the LBL, we do all the stuff that's on the peninsula too. We always go to all the little stops along the way too. We're trying to catch up with the chat here.
I'm not going to put this up, but not today. Saban said, love that about you guys. A lot of researchers are like, fishermen. Someone catches a good one, everyone crowds the cove. Yeah, I mean, our thing is that we don't really like to go where there's a lot of people at,
no.
You know? And it's weird because like if the BFRO did like a paid like research outing in our general area, and we were like, why are they going there? I mean, like we've been there before and there's like nothing going on there. I mean, I can't say that there's not ever. I mean, it's an area that's not known for activity. We don't get a lot of reports out of it. We don't experience anything when we go there. We don't have people going, you need to check this place out. This happened to us. And then I'm like, it's because it's easily accessible.
What area?
I'm not going to say off the top of my head, but I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
You looked at it. You just don't remember. That's where their latest South Carolina paid expedition was at. So, yeah. And remember we were like going and we were going, there's nothing up there. And then we were like, oh, it's easily accessible. It's easy to get in and out of.
Yeah. Well, I catch your drift.
I catch your drift.
I get you. Yeah, where we go is terrible.
Yeah.
Where we go and research, it's
And
terrible.
if you guys saw that photo that we posted up on the side of that mountain, I was just going, this is killing me, man. All these down trees.
Oh my God. And then we got to the top of that mountain and the wind chill, it was like 20 degrees. It was so cold.
Sharon Lane I grew up hearing about the Ozark Howler. Now I'm wondering if it's a dog man. I think that a lot of these things, a lot of these like regional type cryptids are basically people are a lot of times seeing the same thing, or they might be seeing variations. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There might be people. That's what always gets me about like pure Bigfoot researchers. Some of them are just like, there's Bigfoot out there and then there's nothing else.
Yeah.
UFOs, crazy talk.
But you'll accept what you consider to be an 8-foot tall monkey running.
I got no problem with that at all.
But the possibility of anything else is just absolutely.
There's an upright dog walking around. You need to have your head examined. You know. So who knows? It might be just a completely regional. It might be something that only occurs in that particular area that is unlike Dogman. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, but just because it doesn't seem like it's occurring everywhere doesn't mean we need to dismiss it. So.
MK Ultra says, I've never seen a Bigfoot hunter. I follow all the Bigfoot hunters there. Used to be a guy named Michael Green with a van, but I ain't seen him in years.
Remember Michael Green? Yeah, I didn't know if he's still.
It's because he's been consumed by a Bigfoot. We'll eventually go to the URA, I think.
Yeah, we'll check it out eventually. I mean, so.
It's not that far.
Alan Lassiter says, Jess, there has been. I don't know. He's asking if has there been or there has been a sighting near that survival school in Clinton.
I didn't know about that.
If you're asking, has there been?
Or telling us there has been.
Yeah, so if there has one, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. I'm friends with those people. I go down there, so. J. Myers is at the Clinton National Forest. No, it's a Sumter National Forest. It's in Clinton. It's probably why those people are wrecking their ATVs. They see a Sasquatch and they're just going awry.
Judy Wheeler she's in the Ozarks. Lots going on in the forests. So yeah, I'd like to get into the Ozarks. I'd like to get into.
Oh, I'd love to go to the
Ozarks and just check out some like recent like activity that's going on. So
yeah, that'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They want to name the donkey Hellbent Hee-Haw. Red Wolf is suggesting we get an iguana at this point.
I saw that. Everybody's going off the deep end. Now we're committed. Jill Doug gave us $20. We're committed to the donkey. Or a beast of burden. I guess that could technically be an iguana. All we're locked into is a beast of burden. Not today, Saban said, as a former scout, you ought to reach out to the council and set you guys up to go to Philmont. Is there stuff going on out there? Because I honestly don't know if there's activity going on, like recent activity going on out there. I have to look into that. So
I don't know what that is. The out to Philmont and the Cimarron. That sounds like something from Conan.
That's a scout ranch out in New Mexico.
Scout ranch. Yeah, okay, so. All right. I'm not familiar with that. Yeah. So I was like, it sounds like something from Conan.
That does sound like something.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to go to the Philmont and Cimarron.
Those are Sumerians, but close enough.
Well, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. That was my stomach growling. If you guys, anybody heard that, that is not weird activity. That is just my stomach growling.
It's been a long day.
So yeah, like I said, if anybody has a chance, go check that video out that we posted. Take a look at it. Let us know what you think about it. Jesse's going to be releasing some slowed down and zoomed in footage.
Yeah, I'll work on that. I'll kind of clean it up a little bit as best I can.
Somebody had mentioned in there that it looks like a monkey, and I was having that conversation with somebody, a Bigfoot researcher that I speak to online with all the time, and he was just going, it looks like a monkey, but it was extremely cold up there at that time, you know. And he's like, even if there was a colony of monkeys up there, you would hear, they're not going to be super stealthy. You're going to hear them. You would occasionally see them. They wouldn't behave like that. And then B, they wouldn't be that active in cold weather, even if they could survive cold weather like that. There's those monkeys in Japan that survive in cold weather, but they're hanging out in the hot springs all the time. There ain't no hot springs up there, man. So
that sounds nice.
It's gonna be interesting to see as more people see that, what they think. And I'm sure some people will just be like, your eyes are playing tricks on you, or whatever.
Or they'll tell us that we made it up or we faked it. But I can't, obviously I can't even play the video on StreamYard.
But you're just faking that. It's a cover. It's the red herring. You know, you've red herring to the red herring.
I don't think I'm making CGI videos. I can't even obviously play a video on StreamYard.
Yeah, so it
MK Ultra Hiking and Gear Review says solar eclipse next year in the Ozarks.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Sharon Lane said, Mark Twain National Forest in Missouri has lots of sightings. My cousin saw something he couldn't explain. He's a hunter and a veteran, so he's reliable. We'll get reports from people who just come across our channel and whatever, and just, talk to us online and send us reports. We get those from all over the United States down into like Central and South America. We had a few people that were letting us know about South America's in Central America, it's got a lot of like upright canine like activity down there, like to such a huge extent, especially in the rural areas. And these people are just, talking to you about like, yeah, it's going on. It's much more widely believed down there, because I think the activity operates in the open so much more. But one of the things is we focus on the Southern Appalachians, so we don't really watch for trends in other areas just because we're not planning on going to those areas. No. So it's always good to hear stuff like this about like, hey, that I have like, somebody who's close to me that has something that they saw. So Shirley Vidal said something going, you guys are funny that you make this serious subject lots of fun. This subject gets very consuming sometimes, and for a while there was really no happiness in this subject for us. I'm saying it gets a little consuming.
It gets a lot frustrating,
and when I'm not exaggerating when I say that, like, when we're not like sleeping or working regular jobs to pay for this, our time is, again, we don't really watch like network television or do anything. It gets very consuming sometimes. And I can't remember the last time I read something just for pleasure. I mean, you're just reading constantly stuff that, like I said, I mean, we're kind of catching up. We're rereading a lot of John Keel and Jacques Vallée, just because we're kind of headed in that direction, and reading MacTony's and stuff like that. But it's always something to do with the subject.
I just got The Dark Path by Isaac Weishaupt. Started reading that.
But it was becoming really consuming, and not in a good way. It was almost like we were just going, I hope we never encounter anything weird again, so we can just kind of shut the door on this part of our lives and move on to something else. Just because it wasn't a lot of fun, and generally we kind of joke around quite a bit. So, I mean, if we do this, it's not that we're not taking the subject seriously.
It's gallows humor.
We need
in
a little bit
way.
of humor to keep sane doing this stuff, man. Because
Well-
like I said, it's especially the stuff that we're looking at in with Georgia, where there's cults and missing kids and everything like that.
And
I
then
mean,
creatures coming through the trees
yeah,
behind you.
I mean, you've got to kind of take a little bit of, and at the end of the day, you know, we didn't get drafted to do this. We're doing
Yeah.
it because we enjoy it, and
we
got to have some enjoyment at it.
We were talking about that thing in the trees last night. We were talking about that last night, and I was telling Joe, I was like, that kind of, it's kind of freaked me out a good bit. Like
Yeah.
I mean, like everybody else, I had like a physical reaction, but unfortunately, you know, for me, I'm going back there, and I've
Yeah.
been back there. And then I'm going back there. You know, I'm gonna go back to the place where that was, and that kind of weirds me out. And he's like, well, what are you gonna do? You gonna just quit? Are you gonna just
Yeah,
you
I
think you
mean-
can give it up? And I'm like, I can't. I just can't give it up. There's no way I can. Like, after everything we've seen, everything we've experienced, you just can't walk away, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Anyway, Teresa Wilkins, Oklahoma has many dogman sightings that I've heard. Oklahoma is one of those like bucket list places I'd like to go to, just because I've heard, and it's got kind of got activity with like a malicious kind of tinge to it. It's just it's somewhere where it's a very serious sort of activity. Really like to go there for it. And then Todd S had a good question. When are you guys going to Taylor, Mississippi? Last time Taylor got brought up and we discussed it, the chat turned into just a free-for-all. There were a couple of people on here telling us that we were just idiots and that we were going to get arrested if we set foot in Taylor.
That was when we were in West Virginia. That was our West Virginia episode.
And we had people that were literally getting like mortally offended that we were floating the idea of going to Taylor, Mississippi to look around. That we were not going to be able to, that anybody with non-local license plates would get pulled over and arrested
immediately for being in Taylor, Mississippi.
And I'm going, it's the thing you have to always combat is that there's a certain level of like, it's called friend of a friend lore, you know? It's like I heard about this couple that was making out and they heard a noise and they peeled off. And then when they got home, the guy walked around to let the girl out and there was a hook hanging from her door. You know, did this happen to you? No, but a friend told me about it, you know?
Good night, Jill.
And so it's a friend of a friend lore. So everything that plays a certain part into a lot of this stuff. It's just that it's hard to kind of sift through for what's really going on. There's a lot of really weird, dramatic, bizarre stuff going on with these topics. It's real. I don't see why it needs to be inflated because the real stuff's crazy enough as it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were looking at Taylor, Mississippi, and there's like
there's a giant like wedding venue
where people are coming from all over that part of the country to get married. And I'm going,
a suburb of Oxford, which
so
is
are they stopping
town.
Are they stopping people that are coming in to like video their granddaughter's wedding and go,
listen, ma'am,
dog man, we're gonna have to throw this lady in jail. So I think that there's stuff going on there, but I just don't think that I don't think that trying to go there is just a one-way ticket to the, what
we ought to do? We ought to call that. It's a huge, like, nice wedding venue that's in Taylor, Mississippi.
We wanted to set up a wedding, but we heard you're going to get arrested.
I'm going to call the venue and be like, I would like to come to my my niece's wedding, but I'm afraid that the police will arrest me because of all the dog man activity.
Yeah, and it's probably just like the LBL. There are probably people there that know what's going on and talk about it. And what's weird is with all the stuff on Taylor, Mississippi, I only know about it because of the internet stories that are out in the internet lore. I've never had anybody from that region get in contact with me and go, hey, I live in Taylor, Mississippi, and this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't have any good secondhand information. Everything I see is just the stuff that's online. And so I don't know if there's stuff going on there or not. We'd like to go look, but
that'll be a pass through. We're not making a
trip not going to make a special trip for it.
So. Rad Razor says Vault said it even happened in Taylor. Vault's from the area, so
yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, we'll probably still go check it out, and there might be activity there. I just don't think that they're running every plate that comes through there, and we're going to get stopped. Because here's the deal: if they don't want anybody to know what's going on there, you start stopping and confiscating camera equipment and arresting people, that's going to bring a lot of attention to the area.
Yeah.
If you just try to say these people hoaxed it, they just missed it, just don't pay any attention to them, that's how you cover it up. You
Yeah.
cover it up by just missing it, not by putting a bigger spotlight on the entire area. So,
Yeah, violating people's civil rights too.
yeah, exactly. So here comes Bronwyn. The donkey can distribute the gorilla pee along the way.
Yeah.
We're just starting to get some recurring themes here with Hellbent Holler that just comes in, wow. Anyway. Scott Yeager, what is your most memorable I'm out of here moment in all your investigations? As far as like leaving somewhere is probably Corpsewood Manor, right? Just where we just went, we're out. Nope, we're gone.
Yeah.
Well, as far as like when you say I'm out of here moment, when we left, when we had to get off the LBL Peninsula when that like tornado was possibly coming in, that storm was coming in. That wasn't really anything supernaturally related. There was just a storm rolling in, and we were in an area that had already suffered a previous really heavy storm damage. A lot of those trees were kind of hanging on by a thread. But then Corpsewood Manor, when we went up there to investigate that, and we ran into those people up there, and I'm just going, we're going to come back and our car is going to be disabled. We need to go ahead and get out of here like right now.
Yeah.
That's
when we got that portal or whatever that was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we got out of there because, I mean,
yeah, that was it.
You were very concerned that
Panthertown Valley, when we ran into those flannel men, you know what I'm saying? That was so there's been a handful. If you came right down to it, probably the flannel guys at Panthertown was probably most like, we just don't need to, we just need to hightail it out of here like right now.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's scary stuff. I mean, you're dealing with cults and, humanoid demonic creatures. You're dealing with dogmen. You're dealing with all kinds of stuff. You're dealing with horrific weather systems that come in and could kill you. It's oh, good night, Barton Nunley.
Good night, Barton. So,
but it's not easy work. It's not easy to do. I mean, it's fun. We really enjoy it. We have a great time doing it.
Todd S is going to bail us out.
Well, there you go.
Todd. Might actually have to take you up on that eventually. Stephen Smith's going to bed. Good night, Stephen. We're not going to run too terribly late.
No, we're not running late tonight. We're not doing a 3-hour shenanigan here.
Deuster's going to bed. Everybody's like kind of going to sleep.
I was just laughing to myself because I remember that episode we did it. We were talking about Taylor, Mississippi, and we're like, they can't stop us all. Rush Taylor, Mississippi.
We were going to rush like they were rushing Area 51. Yeah, we were going to have everybody rush. Like we were going to have everybody rush Taylor, Mississippi and overwhelm the police force. And some of us they couldn't stop us all.
They can't stop us
all. They couldn't arrest every single one of us. And somebody was going to get in to get some footage. So.
Oh my God. Sharon Lane says, love Mississippi. Don't mess with the Mississippi Sheriff Department. We're not. We have grown up in rural, small mountain areas our entire lives. I'm from Haywood County, North Carolina.
I'm from up near the West Virginia border in Virginia. So, but at the same token, I don't see them just stop. I mean, again, because there's people coming and going from that wedding venue all the time from the looks of it. So.
And a college town is just north of it, Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah. So are they only allowing like residents to go to that college because they can't let anybody new in so that the Dogman story will? And again, I'm sure there's activity and it may even be crazy activity.
Yeah.
I just don't think that
all these little ancillary things
you can't
that have been
go
added.
there, so don't even try.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're gonna try it. We decide to go, we're gonna go, man. So Tracker, you two need to go on a nice, relaxing 8 to 20 foot tall Bigfoot research area. Take a vacation, enjoy life, listen to some screams and howls. So
that LBL honeymoon.
LBL honeymoon. So Paul M has a good point. Taylor, Mississippi only has 5 officers. I don't think they can stop every out-of-state car passing through. Well, again, that's the thing, is that I think that there might be activity going on there.
So Storm Taylor is back on.
But it's just that when you start adding, instead of going, hey, there's some weird stuff going on in Taylor, Mississippi, people are open to hearing that, and they're open to listening to you, and they're open to it possibly being true. When you start adding in all this stuff and you better not go there because they'll, and I'm just going, now you're getting to the point where people will just instantly dismiss it because that doesn't sound like, if you think it through, have you guys heard about this town in Mississippi where you can't go to if you're out of state? There's a thing called YouTube. People could stream that and just, there'd
Yeah.
be stuff out there. So
Peter Smallwood suggests that we go in before dark, wear 2 rear-facing GoPros, see what's following up towards. Um, we've been going back. We've gone back a couple of times since this incident, and we've been filming more around of us with everything. But at the same time, we're hiking, we're carrying all of our gear, we're both using GoPros. It's we film everything that we can film while we're doing it and carrying all of our equipment and then traipsing through the forest in a safe manner because we
mhm.
still have to get out of there alive without a forest death, much less stuff.
Yeah, we're fooling with it. I'm gonna try to kind of rig it up a
Yeah,
little
did you
bit.
guys see the Cerberus? I came up with the name. The Cerberus rig. Joe shared it, and then I shared it, but we shared it on our social media platform.
Yeah, well, our friend from Cryptid Response said you guys should be able to. We were talking about the orb footage, and he goes, "Man, you guys need to be able to film in more than one spectrum at a time." So we actually are rigging this up. It's going to have a full spectrum camera on there with a full spectrum light source. It's going to have color night vision with a 940 nm infrared illuminator to it, and then it's going to have a thermal imager on there as well.
Mm-hmm.
All contained in like one piece. It's going to have a backup battery thing on there. I'm still kind of experimenting around with like the connection points because it's got to be quickly detached, but it's got to be stable too. So it'll be doable. I just gotta, and it's not going to be used all the time because it's lightweight, but it's clumsy to use. You need both hands for it. So we're not going to use that on every investigation, but we want at least the option if we want to take it with us. So it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be like I said, and we've got pictures of that up on your Facebook.
I both, I think,
Yeah.
but we gotta. Our last 2 big like hits of stuff have been just pure unadulterated luck because
Okay.
of the thing in the trees. You swung around at the right time,
Yeah.
and then with the portal, I didn't have my backpack on. You didn't have your backpack on. I've started wearing my thermal on my belt in a pouch on my belt. Thank God I had that thing just stuck on my belt and I didn't take it off because that way we got it recorded on 2 different pieces of equipment.
Oh yeah.
But that's just been strokes of luck, I guess, preparedness and luck. But yeah, so I think that us having the Cerberus is going to be awesome. I think that's going to be cool that we'll be able to record 3 different ways all at once, the same footage.
So one spot or one thing happening, and we'll have full spectrum night vision and then thermal footage of it all simultaneously from basically the same angle.
Yeah.
So it'll be pretty cool. So
again,
it's the thermal imagers don't have a huge storage capacity, so we can't run those for like hours just filming everything. But if we see something, we can activate it and then go and get footage at that point on it. So
yeah, and it's going to be something really cool to experiment with and get that footage and kind of look around with.
Alan Oster, do you think Bigfoot or Dogmen are attracted to graveyards? If so, why? There's stories of Bigfoot. It seems to be more so with Dogman, and I don't even think that think plays into it. It seems like they are just based upon the stories. There's so many that have stories about dogmen either in like normal formal cemeteries, graveyards, and then Native American burial mounds. They just seem to be associated with that. I don't think anybody could say definitively why that is. It seems like it's a liminal spot. It's like a crossing over. You know what I'm saying? There are people there that once were alive and now they're dead. Sometimes it's consecrated ground. So there's a lot of supernatural baggage that goes along with those places.
I mean, you could say that there's a lot of theories that Dogman is demonic. Is this a way that it can connect with our world from the other side? Is that a way it can cross over? Because if it's a demonic entity, that's the connection that we make from our world to the next. There's the crossing line that we take. This better be good because I'm trying to say something.
I'm listening. No, I just read a comment. I just laughed.
The Cerberus is dope.
No.
Okay. Anyway, I'm just saying that it could be a place where that we cross over. It could come over from that realm as well.
The Cerberus is pretty cool. If you guys haven't seen it, because that's our big thing. Our big thing is always just try different stuff. It may not work. We may not ever get anything with it at all. You know what I'm saying? So It's like that infrasound equipment. It may end up just being a giant expensive mistake that we just never really get anything with. I don't think it will be, because I think if we're not getting anything on infrasound and we're in an area with activity, then I think that we could safely say infrasound's not a factor here.
Mhm.
That what people are experiencing is something else, not infrasound. But anyway, like I said, we won't know until we try. But I mean, we're all about trying new stuff to see what it does. I mean, people have been taking the same approach to this since before the Patterson Gimlin film was put out into the public, and we haven't really advanced the topic hardly at all over several decades at this point. We've just got a handful of stories, so hopefully we'll be able to, some of these crazy little ideas we come up with, maybe we'll get some actionable data out of it, and
that's the
kind
goal
of
here. I
move the
mean,
needle a little bit.
ultimately, that's the goal. I think we're attacking this with more equipment than anyone else has. At
Well,
this
I mean,
point.
anybody else who's not, I mean, it's funny because like I noticed like what it's the show Expedition Bigfoot. That first season, they had some pretty high dollar stuff. And then I don't even know how many seasons there are now, man. I know that maybe the second or the third one, if there even is a third one, I noticed that I was like, man, their budget must have got cut.
The dry cleaning budget really.
Yeah, the dry cleaning budget.
The dry cleaning budget really went
for those
up.
spotless white clothes in the woods. But they didn't really have the equipment. So yeah, we've sometimes it feels like we're chasing the phenomena with technology. Something will happen to us and we'll both go, man, if we had just had this, we could have captured it. So then we got to try to obtain that. But I mean, that's the only way you're going to advance this past just campfire stories. Just another story that, hey, I was either out and this happened to me, or my uncle was out and this happened to him. We have some of those stories. We can't back it up.
We also have a story. Hey, we saw a portal in the woods.
Here's my footage of what we have.
Here's my thermal.
It's not definitive, but it at least shows that, hey, we were in the woods when it happened, and B, we saw something.
Yeah.
So that's our big thing is that none of these are the smoking gun, but if you start getting enough small pieces, like we said earlier, we can maybe get a puzzle assembled, or enough of a puzzle assembled that we can look at the unassembled photo and kind of get an idea of what it is.
Yeah.
So. People are talking about mounting GoPros onto the donkeys. SC007 put rear-facing cameras on the donkey's pack saddle, and then that was followed up with Southern Sasquatch. If you get the donkey, you can put front, rear, side-to-side GoPros on the donkey.
Donkey cam.
The donkey cam. So.
Oh, guys, I just don't know what to do with y'all sometimes.
Yes. So anyway.
Not today. Saban says I need to get a Giorgio Sukol. I can't say his name.
The Ancient Aliens
guy. There you go. Hair did. Think of the likes. No, I've just started growing all of this hair. I am not cutting it for a coif.
So like Ghetto Yeti was late coming in. I missed the discussion of the thing in the trees. I like that better than the jumper. The thing in the trees sounds like Lovecraftian almost. That's right up my alley. Where is that? North Georgia? It's in North Georgia.
You call it that walks on trees?
It floated through the trees almost. It's right where we caught that portal light orb plasma, whatever you want to call it thing, Yeti. So it's like right through there. And that, if you remember earlier in that night, Jessie saw, the reason why we walked over there to begin with, she thought she saw something jumping from between two trees. And
the night before.
Yeah. Like the night before, that's when we saw the let's just call it a portal or whatever. And I went, how big was it? She goes, all the size of a small dog. Keep in mind, our last dog was about 125 pounds or so. So when I was talking to her, she goes, maybe like 70 pounds. So like a medium-sized dog. Again, that thing we saw ain't big. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that could be described as maybe the size of like a medium sized dog or something. So I don't know.
Sharon Lane says, have y'all been visited by any government entities yet asking questions?
Our internet's been knocked out of you. Well, we got interviewed.
We got interviewed, but not about this.
We had the FBI show up at our house one time.
Yeah.
That was just, So that's a different story
for a different
time.
Day. We're on a list. We're on so many lists. Not today, Saban. Ask Cam for short.
The ask Cam. I saw you mention this earlier, the 3-body problem. I know there's a 3-body problem and like mechanics. I'm assuming that's a book series, the 3-body problem. Let me put that. Generally what happens is that things that people mention through the chat. Three body problem.
Is this a novel?
I don't know. I got it saved up. I'll take a look at it. Is
Okay.
this the Dark Forest and Death's End? Is that part of the trilogy there? Saban? Yabba Troy catfishing. Hello from Kentucky. Hello, sir.
Cryptid Response says Hellbent Holler Ask Cam subscription is worth a small fortune
in clickbait. Yeah, there it is. So wait, this isn't what I thought I was signing up for. What do you mean I had to pay for a year in advance?
We were talking about doing an OnlyFans, but it's me just talking about Sasquatch eating various smoked meats in the woods in a bikini. So yeah, that's my retirement plan.
That's your retirement. Yeah. Well, don't wait too long because otherwise.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to do it in just like a full body suit. Just still eating them smoked meats, though. Do I still get the ribs?
Yes, you get the ribs.
That's the question. He says, yes, that's what it is.
Grace W has got a really good point here. Have y'all heard the theory that the phenomena is neither good nor bad, but it just messes with you because it feeds off our energy, whether it's fear, faith, or whatever? I've heard that. And then I think that goes hand in hand with the fact that it might just be, when people talk about alien, maybe it's not alien as if it's from another planet, but it's alien. It's incomprehensible to you. You don't understand its motives. You don't understand what it wants. You can't understand its actions. Maybe it's doing whatever it does with no consideration for you whatsoever. And the fact that it might be causing you just indescribable horror is just immaterial to it. That's not what it set out to do. That it's so different from us that our concepts of good and evil just don't exist to it. There's that, you know. All right.
Spectator, but not spectator. Sorry, let me get back up here. Paul M says, could it have been a porcupine or a large owl landing on a weak limb? Sorry if I missed it in an answer.
No for a porcupine. Large owl, we didn't see. We see arms and legs, and then we see something on the back. So I don't think.
And it moves from tree to tree that are upright. It's not like it's going from a limb onto a tree that's bent.
And then it drops down to the ground.
It's going from upright tree to upright tree. So.
And then it looks like it goes down to the ground really quickly. And then the one that Letitia Nunley saw looks like it's hanging out in the trees, kind of facing us. And then as we start to turn, it drops down really quickly and starts moving on the ground. So I don't know. Judy Wheeler says, through the trees is freaking surreal.
Yes.
So.
John Said Farm says, Jesse, I love your shirt. It's my Mothman shirt from Liz Pavlovic. I can't get around my microphone. There it goes. What is right? What is left?
People are laughing about a variety of smoked meats.
Yeah, see? You guys are on board. You know what good quality TV is.
Jay Myers, ever think it might be able to see ultraviolet light from all y'all's bodies? There's something going on with it because we catch more stuff on the full spectrum camera that incorporates ultraviolet light than we do just on infrared, like light for like night vision. So yeah, there's something. I mean, I'm sure that it's able to see, and like these things are able to see in like parts of the spectrum that we can't. It might even be able to see in parts of the spectrum that we're unaware of. So take that for what you will. Take that for what you will. So we'll go a few more minutes here and then we'll kind of wrap up. So if anybody's got anything now, speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm going back through because I know we missed some stuff in the chat, guys. Sorry, the chat moves.
Well, the chat moves very fast. We had a lot of technical difficulties. I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
We were talking about some shady stuff, I guess, and that was good. We had some internet issues with the chat got brought down.
These things get a little bigger every week, so the chat gets a little harder to. So
Jay Myers says we need those hex suits. I agree. We'll probably end up with a set of those. If not, we'll start to just experiment with a set, you know.
All right, this is a good one. Shade Viking had said, mankind is now caught up with technology and now many myths are being uncovered. There's nowhere to hide anymore in humanoids. Well, if you follow the UAP flap, a lot of the naval pilots and a lot of the people that were working like, you know, different sensor arrays on some of these, you know, aircraft carriers and some of the supporting warships and all that, talk about how they started seeing these things when they had a sensor array upgrade. when they started using like more advanced radars, and when they started basically having, and they don't even really talk about what some of the sensors are, because I'm sure they're still, even though it's years old at this point, I'm sure some of it's not stuff they really talk about openly. But it was, they started seeing these things, they hadn't seen them before, bam, sensor array upgrade, and now they're seeing them everywhere. And now, because they're seeing them everywhere, they know where to send the pilots to and move the ships to, and they're seeing them with their naked eye now at this before. But that seemed to go hand in hand with, because everybody's going, well, why are they showing themselves more openly to us now? I don't think they are. I think they're showing, I don't think that whatever these UAPs are, I don't think that their behavior has changed a bit. I think that our technology is caught up to the point where we can find them now. You know what I'm saying? So look at what we carry in the woods, man. I think part of the reason why we're able to get stuff is because we're running around with stuff that even 10 years ago
was almost impossible for the average consumer to purchase.
We're running around with like full spectrum cameras, decent quality night vision.
And it's all stuff we can order and have it in a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, 10 years ago, you couldn't get on there and go, I think I'm going to bust out the credit card and get a super high sensitivity thermal imager. I think I'm going to order a handful of digital audio recorders, you know what I'm saying, with long battery life. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to order this parabolic dish, So yeah, technology definitely
is more accessible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big thing. Daniel Garcia says, gun nerd talk time. I might be wrong, Jesse, but don't you own a Mossberg Shockwave? I'm a fellow owner. I've been neglecting it, though, due to my loving my 1911 at the range. Yes, got that Shockwave.
We got the Shockwave after LBL.
Yeah.
After seeing that thing on thermal and LBL, and I just went, we need to, again, it's got to be backpack portable for us. And we hear about people that are running through the woods with like Barrett 50 calibers, like, going on these dogman hunts and all that. We're going like miles and miles and miles over like mountainous terrain.
You've got to have something compact and lighter weight.
So we got a Shockwave. That Shockwave's awesome.
Actually, we got my best friend one for Christmas too. So,
but we put up a Crimson Trace green laser side saddle on it, so you can like aim it from the hip. Actually, aim it as opposed to just spraying and praying with it. But yeah, it's great.
Doubt it.
So,
Southern Sasquatch says, hanging smoked meats on trees probably result in a Bigfoot sighting. It's definitely going to result in a Jesse sighting, that's for sure. That's how you get me to come into the forest. Rack of ribs, baby. Good night, Dolores.
Good night, Dolores. Yeah, we're going to wrap up sooner, but a lot of people we still got a lot of people here, but a lot of people are starting to call it. So
yeah,
we started early. We can end early and everybody can get to bed at a decent time tonight. So
Peter's throwing these rear-facing camera ideas at us.
Your boy Troy, catfishing. We have a lot of activity here in Kentucky. Yeah, we are in the LBL fairly regularly. Your boy Troy. If you've had anything personally happen to you, our email is going along the bottom of the screen right now. Contact us at hellbentholler@gmail.com. Even if it's not an area that we're going into, we correspond with Bart Nunleonot, who's set up in Kentucky. I'm sure he would love to hear about it if it's not something in an area where we investigate at. He's kind of the compiler of stories from that region. So anything you got, you'd love to get shared with us. So
Jay Myers says, think y'all need to say out loud you're not there to cause harm. That's assuming they speak our language.
And that's assuming that they
care.
Don't want to cause harm to us. Yeah. I don't get the idea that these things are
benevolent
or even friendly or not. I get an idea that it's malevolent up there. So oh, cool. We're talking about the three body problem. Deals with that. It's written as a philosophical answer to the Fermi paradox. There's plenty in the news about the dark forest. Okay, cool.
Good night, Judy Wheeler.
Judy Wheeler. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up in a couple minutes.
Yeah, so if you guys have anything else, throw it at us. If not, we're gonna probably wrap up. Make sure you hit that like button before you head out.
Yeah, give us a like if you don't mind.
We've had some technical difficulties tonight. I promise I'm gonna learn how to share stuff on StreamYard. I have no idea. So I'm going to learn how that works so we don't have that problem again. I like how I'm like, this is my greatest piece of evidence. I do not know how to share it with you. So, yeah, and I'm going to actually put out a video with that thing in the trees. I'm gonna put a
Thing
video
in the
out with that, and I'm
trees.
going to kind of had that. I'm not great at enhancing video. Again, I'm self-taught when it comes to editing video, so you get kind of what you get when it comes to me. And but I can slow it down, zoom it in, and all that stuff. So, and I'll kind of see what I can do to kind of clean it up. I use Adobe Premiere Pro, so I should be able to kind of get a bit of a decent product out of it. But I have all the raw footage and everything else. So if down the road we need to do anything else to it, we can. But
Martin had talked about wanting to see us do Spence Field and the Smokies. Yeah, we're gonna actually get up there and do
yeah,
a night investigation. We're gonna try to pick a pretty good time of the year to do it because we've seen some people up there walking around there in the daytime and talking. And obviously Dennis Martin went missing during the daytime, but I haven't seen anybody up there doing a night investigation yet. So that is our plan over this next year, is to get up there and do a night investigation in that area. So
Hellbent Holler, we are the night.
we are the night.
We are the night.
All right. All right. I think we're.
Thank you, Regina. Regina said I do a great job editing. Thank you, Regina.
Thank you.
I had to teach myself how to do it all.
Ghetto Yeti, have you gotten evidence of their comings and goings? Not their comings and goings, but we've gotten evidence of them being up there and some stuff that
they've left behind.
And we'll be releasing some of that stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
we do have a new video coming out. It's a follow-up to all of this, where we kind of go and do a little sleuthing around the forest.
Mm-hmm. Jay Myers, I have not seen the new Savage 6.5 Creedmoor bolt action pistol. I will look that up when I get off here, though. So all right. I think we're kind of caught up here in the chat. I think we covered what we needed to cover. Sorry about all the technical difficulties tonight, everybody. I appreciate everybody coming on. So
yep, we appreciate you guys being a part.
We're working on the next video right now to come up to kind of cover what we found this past weekend. We'll hopefully be able to get that out this week, because we will be back up there again over the next few days. We're not going to say exactly when.
Yeah.
But, we will get that. We'll get that video out with the footage that we have as soon as possible. And if you guys see anything else in any of our videos, especially the panning tree shots or anything like that, and you think it's worth a second look,
now we've opened up a can of worms, because we're like,
please
okay, what have we missed at this point?
Yeah.
So Sharon told us to take care. She doesn't want us missing 411 in the Smokies.
Yep. So
yeah, we are very aware of the dangers that lie, so we do our best, but you know, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. So, but I wanted to thank you all for joining us on Hellbent Holler Live. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you head out the door.
And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
We're trying to, obviously, we want to try to reach a wider audience, because with a wider audience, we get more input, we get more accounts, we get more recent activity. It's more data for us. It works both ways. We're able to share it with more people. More people are able to share with us, is what we're after. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to us. So.
And thank you for everybody who threw some super chats today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's going to equipment,
Always.
gas up there and back. You can tell by the amount of equipment that we use. We and as a result, it's more expensive than us just kind of jumping in the car and walking around with a phone.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it. So,
but thank you guys. We're gonna throw some music on. You guys tell each other goodbye, and thank you for watching Hellbent Holler Live.